Disclaimer: it was a fanfiction story created by me. Please don't take it seriously. There is no match in this story and real life.
Just like before, Jeon no longer wake up early in the morning to go to work. In fact, he didn't even wake up in the morning anymore. His day would begin around 11 or 12. He stayed awake the whole night, lost in one thought, sometimes sitting in the living room, sometimes on the terrace, completely drowned in her memories. He never realized it. When the night passed, time sometimes he opened his eyes on the living room sofa, sometimes on the bedroom floor. Just by looking at his face, his condition was clearly visible. He went to the only because Kim forced him to. By now, everyone had gotten used to seeing him like this. He no longer wished anyone good morning like before, nor did he look at anyone. In fact, he didn't even reply when someone spoke to him. He would just reach and go straight to his cabin, silently shutting himself away. Understanding his condition, Kim had already transferred all of his to another long ago so that he won't make any mistake in this step. Even then, to keep him a little busy, Kim let him check old reports just to distract his mind. Kim tried to help him as much as he could, but when someone doesn't try to help himself, how can anyone else truly help him? Like every other day today as well, somehow he reached the at 11:30 a.m. The receptionist was sitting and reading a book. She knew that Jeon wouldn't look at anything or talk to anyone, so even after seeing him, she ignored him and stayed focused on her book. But suddenly, Jeon came and stood in front of her, the desk, and asked, "What book are you reading?" The receptionist was startled by the sudden voice, and on top of that, seeing Jeon standing right in front of her made her nervous. Confusion and fear were clearly visible on her face. And why won't she be shocked? The man who had been ignoring everyone for months, lost in his own thoughts, suddenly came and stood in front of her today and asked her a question. Seeing her standing silently like that, Jeon thought she hadn't heard him, so he asked it again. "Jeon, what book is this?" Receptionist: "Sir, sorry, sir. I was just reading this book." The receptionist words didn't really reach Jeon. His eyes were fixed only on the book in her hands. He cut her off in the middle, his voice calm but curious. "Jeon, can I look at this book once?" Receptionist: "Huh? Jeon, whose book is this? Who wrote it? When was it published?" Hearing so many questions about the book, the receptionist felt a little relieved. Jeon's question made her realize that he was genuinely interested in the book, so she started explaining. Receptionist: "Sir, this book has been published very recently, just 1 week ago. The name of this book is..." The receptionist closed the book, looked at the cover properly, and then said, "Receptionist, so the name of the book is Hello Doctor, Will You Be the Healer of My Mindless Heart?" The moment Jeon heard the name of the book, his eyes lit up as if his long wait had finally ended. It felt as if he had found why and thought these words, but was just a little enough. Was Jeon connecting this book to wine too quickly? What if his hope broke once again? Getting excited and a little restless, he quickly asked the receptionist, "Jeon, what is the writer's name?" Receptionist: "Sir, the writer has written it under the name Jeon." Jeon kept repeating the name softly to himself. It wasn't what he had expected. One hadn't written the book. It was written by someone named. Once again his hope shattered and his face turned dull and sad. Just then the receptionist spoke. Receptionist said, "Suhakampagna is not a person's name. It is an Italian word and it means his companion." Hearing this, John's eyes suddenly lit up and a new hope, a small ray of light appeared on his face. A different kind of happiness slowly showed on his expression because he clearly remembered right here in this. He had once called one his companion. Excited and restless, he almost snatched the book from the receptionist's hands and said, "Jeon, can I take this book? I will read it and return it to you." The receptionist's face showed mixed emotion, shock, tension, nervousness, and confusion all at once. Receptionist: "Okay, sir. Jeon, thank you." After that, Jeon didn't say another word. He quickly walked into his cabin, sitting down on his chair. The moment he opened the book and read the epigraph on the very first page, tears instantly filled his eyes. Epigraph. I hope I don't drown in this rain of tears. I hope I don't die before you come to me. Come to me, my companion, because I belong only to you. You don't even know it, but you are my life. Without you, my love, what is loyalty? What is a promise? All that remains is my love. The words felt painfully familiar, as if every line was written straight from one's heart, slowly breaking Jeon from the inside. And just below the epigraph in small letters, it was written, "It's a true story." With tears still in his eyes, he slowly turned the first page. Written clearly in big letters was chapter 1. First minute, he started reading, and after finishing just the first page, he became completely sure that this book was written by Wayne. Then he continued reading slowly, line by line. While reading the book, tears kept falling from Leon's eyes, but at the same time a soft smile appeared on his lips, because in this book Wayne had written their first meeting in every tiny details, how they met in the hall, at the party, then in the library, and honestly the time they spent meeting each other was as beautiful as it was pure. That time Jeon only knew what had happened and how everything happened, but now he was also getting to know one's feeling. Every scene and every situation was the same, only the character's name was changed. He kept reading the book like this, page after page. Each chapter was a witness to the moments they had spent together. Everything was written in the book. How Jeon gave one shelter in his house on a rainy night, then how they shared their lives with each other, and then how they shared their secrets with each other, and then how one stopped focusing on and spent the whole day with Jeon instead. From the beginning till the end, it explained how and why she left everything behind and went to another place, and with that, the story came to an end. After finishing the story, Jeon first sat there and cried for a long time, so much that he couldn't stop his voice or his sobs, no matter how hard he tried. Then, gathering himself, wiping his face, and holding the book tightly in his hand, he ran straight to the receptionist and asked her in a rushed, urgent tone, as if it was something extremely important. Jeon, this book, who wrote it? Where was it written? Where did you buy it from? From whom? Receptionist confused. Sir, I bought this from a bookstore from the shopkeeper. Jeon, you must know something. Who wrote this? Who is the writer? Where is she? How can I meet her? Anything at all? Receptionist. Sorry, sir, but the writer's name is kept secret, and there are no details about her anywhere. Maybe the writer didn't want to share any information about herself. Hearing this, John slammed his hand hard on the table in frustration, making the receptionist step back in fear. Actually, Jeon was angry at himself because after so many months, when he finally got a clue, a small hint about when he still couldn't find her or learn anything about her. Feeling helpless and defeated, with tears filling his eyes like a man who had lost everything, he spoke in a painful, broken voice a little louder. Jeon, please let me come to you. Let me meet you. Let me have you, my love, my princess. I am slowly without you. I am your Dr. Jeon. His tears now started falling onto the table. As well, seeing him in such a condition, the receptionist felt pity for him too. She had never seen her boss this sadless and helpless before. So, with the intention of helping him as much as she could, she spoke softly to Jeon with a little hesitation. Receptionist. Sir, I don't know who exactly wrote this book or anything about the writer, but this book was actually published from Jeon. Confused. Receptionist. Sir, it's a small country in Europe. It's very beautiful. He repeated the name of the city twice, and once again a smirk of hope and a soft happiness appeared on his face. He was still not completely sure whether the publisher would tell him about wine or not, but at least now he knew one thing, where he might find her. Now all he had to do was prepare to go to. Just as he turned to leave, the receptionist, with a little hesitation and fear, called it out to Receptionist, sir. Jeon turned around. Yes. Receptionist, why are you getting so restless and worried just to know about this book, Jeon? Because my life is inside this book. Receptionist, shocked and confused. Jeon, today because of you I found this book and very soon I will find my love, my life. I will never forget this favor of yours. If you ever need any help from me, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much. Jeon said this and walked away. The receptionist just gave a soft smile and whispered quietly to herself. Receptionist, sir, in your eyes I can see both your love and your longing. I pray that you will be reunited with your love and your life. Within an hour, Jeon had arranged everything to go to. Before leaving for the airport, he called Liam and told him everything. Liam felt a spark of hope to see his sister again. So he also got ready to join Jeon on this journey. They set off on their trip. He sat by the window seat, the seatbelt light glowing above him. The plane slowly began to move, carrying him further from everything familiar and closer to the only thing he truly wanted. Jeon to himself, she chose a country small enough to stay invisible. He didn't know if she was really there. He didn't know if she wanted to be found. All he had was a book, a few hidden clues, and a heart that still belonged to her. As the plane lifted off the ground, his finger gripped the novel tightly. Every page felt like her voice calling out to him. God, what if I am too late? What if she never wants to see me again? Fear whispered in his chest, but hope won't leave. Somewhere in that unknown country, she was breathing the same air, walking under the same sky. He closed his eyes, resting his head against the seat, lost in thought. Jeon's thought, even if I don't find you, I have to try. Loving you is never something I can leave behind. When they both landed at the airport, they realized why Ryan had chosen this place. Because this small, peaceful spot could win anyone's heart at any country, but finding a publisher wasn't easy, especially when the publisher herself was a simple book writer and this was her first published work. After meeting many people and carefully investigating, they finally got an address. When they reached that address, they saw the publishing house wasn't a building that screamed success. It was a quiet, modest, a narrow street, faded walls, a small wooden nameplate near the door. They slowly stepped inside. The scent of old paper and fresh coffee filled the room. The woman behind the desk looked up. She wasn't rich, no expensive clothes, no arrogance, just calm eyes and ink-stained fingers. She was a writer too. What can I help you with? She asked gently. He hesitated, then placed the book on her desk. He spoke slowly, his voice measured. But Jeon, I want to know about this author. Her fingers paused just for a second, then she slowly closed the book. Her tone was not cold, not defensive, just firm. We don't reveal our writers. Jen, I'm not a journalist. I'm not a fan. I don't know who are you, and I don't need to know. Whoever you are, I will not share any information about the author. Liam, I am her brother. You can tell me, can't you? Please. When the author's name isn't even in the book, how can you be so sure that it's your sister? June, because the book she published, it's our story, it's her life, and I am in it, Dr. Jeon. June's words surprised the woman a little, but she still refused to give any details about the author. She asked them to leave. Both of them sat across the road in front of her house. Slowly, as night fell, the cold began to grow. The woman asked them 2 or 3 times to leave, but they didn't move, so she went back inside and closed the door. All night they sat there in the cold. Several times during the night, the woman peeked through the window to see if they had left, but they weren't ready to move. Seeing their condition, the woman finally invited them inside and offered them hot food, but neither of them touched it. Then the woman spoke to Jeon. Woman, how could I believe you when you said you know that woman? What if something happened to her? To convince her, Jeon and Liam showed her picture of Wine, and then Jeon explained everything that had happened since Wine came here. After hearing everything the woman said, When you both have suffered a lot, and so has your love. Fate had put you through a very hard. Just as you longed for her there, I have seen her suffering here. When she first arrived here, seeing her made me feel pity. She was like a living. There was no peace in her eyes, no dreams. Her heart was restless, her voice full of pain, and it was like a trapped soul inside her body. I took great effort to stabilize her, and then I told her to write down her pain because when suffering exists limits, it cannot be expressed in words. And if it stay inside a person slowly from it, she listened to me and began writing. At first she would write, cry and tear up the pages. Then slowly she turned her life into a story. Jeon and Liam's eyes filled with tears. And she was here before, but now she had moved to another town where she can find more peace and calm. June, where? Please give us her address. The woman wrote the town's name and one's home address on a piece of paper, then handed it to Jeon, saying, Woman, I hope now the story in this book won't remain incomplete. Jeon, thank you so much, ma'am. Liam, thank you, ma'am. Was an address in a small town. Holding that paper, the two of them set out for the city. As the distance shortened, John's heart grew more restless. Thousands of questions were racing through his mind. Yet there were no answers. Clutching the trembling paper in his hand, he tried to calm himself. After some time, they finally reached Kodot. Seeing the town, Jian said, Jeon, she chose a country small enough to hide her and a town gentle enough to hold her. Liam looked at Jeon. Your love is true. You waited, you didn't give up, you didn't lose hope, you believed. That's why today you are finding her again. Jeon, dear eyes, some hearts don't move on. They only learn how to wait. Even after the distance, my heart still searched for her in every breath. Liam had seen Jeon broken, had seen him falling apart. He might not have fully felt Jeon's pain, but he was a witness to it. Both of them followed the address on the paper, asking people along the way. They finally reached the house. Standing in front of the door, Jeon's hands and legs trembling badly, and tears started streaming down his face. Liam held his hand and said to him, Liam, after waiting all these days, you are finally about to meet your love. The same passion with which you searched for her, without any hope, has finally led you to your destination today. The pain, the suffering you endured all these days is about to be healed. This time, hold your love close to your heart. Express your feelings. Embrace her so tightly in your love that she is never lost again. Go ahead, I will stay behind. John took a deep, shuddering breath, his chest rising and falling as if he was trying to gather all his courage into one moment. He knocked on the door twice, each knock edging through the quiet street, his heartbeat thundering in his ears. Time seemed to stretch, every second heavy with passion and fear. After what felt like an eternity, the door cracked open and one stepped out. The soft glow of the evening sunlight highlighted her face, making her look almost ethereal. Her eyes widened a mix of shock, disbelief, and surprise, as if she couldn't believe that the moment she had tried to avoid, or perhaps had been secretly hoping for, was finally here. Her lips parted slightly, and for a split second the world seemed to pause. Then, like a dam breaking, tears filled her eyes, sparking in the finding light. Jeon's chest tightened as he saw her cry. Every tear she shed preceded him, a painful reminder of the months and it spent apart. His legs trembled uncomfortably, his knees weak as if he might collapse under the weight of his emotion right there in front of her. Jeon's gaze locked onto hers, every fiber of his being yearning for her, every thought screaming that he could not let her slip away again. His restless heart, which had been battered by hope and longing, finally felt a fragment of relief, thought it still pounded wildly. He could see her breathing quicken, her small movement hesitant but drawn to him now. Before one could utter a single word, before her lips could form even the tiniest sound, Jeon leaned slightly forward, his voice catching with both hope and desperation, and asked, trembling, Jeon, have you gotten married yet? Such a question was something neither Wayne nor even Liam expected. Liam seeing his sister after so many days had been emotional, but Jeon's question made him look at Jeon with suspicion at his mental state. Wayne herself didn't know how to react to Jeon asking such a thing. Wayne, what? Jeon, I asked, have you gotten married yet? Why, no. Jeon, any boyfriend? By now, anger started rising in Wine, of course. Who asked such a question on the first meeting after so many days? Even Liam, beating his sleeve, glared at Jeon. He had expected Jeon might cry the moment he saw Wine or pull her into his arms. But this was something completely different. Then he asked it again. Jeon, do you have any boyfriend? This time Wine a little annoyed replied, why no. Jeon, good. Jeon's sudden words left Wine confused, but before she could even react, a gentle touch brushed her lips, and she realized Jeon were on hers. One of his hands held her jawline firmly but tenderly, while the other rested on her. Jeon's tears were flowing freely, and Wine felt them wetting her cheeks. Her own eyes closed, tears escaping as well, blending with his. She was so shocked by Jeon's sudden action that she couldn't respond, frozen in disbelief. Even Liam was momentarily stunned seeing the moment, but then a smile broke across his face. Finally, their love was complete. The story that had been incomplete for so long finally found its ending. Their bond given a name after a will when Jeon gently pulled away from hers. When opened her eyes, Jeon, overwhelmed with emotion, dropped to his knees in front of as if grounding himself to finally express all the love and longing he had carried for so long. Jeon, I love you, and not as a who watched over it, but as a man utterly lost in a stubborn girl who captured my every thought, my every heartbeat, my very soul. You have taken over my mind, my life, my world, and every second of it has been the most beautiful moment I have ever lived.